Chapter 1.11 Markus Bauer confronts Bjorn Muller. Bjorn Muller was unwinding and enjoying a sensual massage from a limited AI massage robotic drone. The machine looked and felt like a human female, but due to its limited programming, it was only useful at giving massages. Bjorn Muller was happy this way. Although he could easily afford to bring a female employee from Earth to please his demands, he felt that it was awkward to have one sticking around on a military space vessel. Likewise, a part of him was yearning for a relationship and marriage. And yet again, he felt that his military career was a barrier to such pursuits. Midway through the massage, Bjorn received the message that Markus Bauer requested to see him. Although a nuisance, he decided to grant the request. The massage could always wait for after the meeting. After all, his female robot certainly had nothing better to do than to wait for his next order. Bjorn got dressed, sat down at his desk, and commanded the AI to let Markus in. Markus walked up to him, but before he had time to say anything, Bjorn spoke. He said, "Welcome, Markus. Are you here to explain yourself of your delay?" Markus said. "I beg your pardon?" Bjorn said. "I have already identified Keila and broadcasted her death. I woke you up 7 hours ago due to the formality of verifying her death officially. And yet you still have not updated our networks with your verification," Markus said. "Unlike some, I take my professional integrity very seriously. I'm here to discuss my findings with you." Bjorn Muller's gaze blackened. He had not expected his formality to become an issue. "Go on," he said. Markus Bauer said. "Well, first, the angel's explanation for what happened does not match reality. I conclude that Keila must have been shot with multiple bullets from the same pistol at point blank, from the same entry point, while she was lying face down and with no traces of fiber. I then concluded that she was naked," Bjorn said. "Yes, I thought the same thing, but there was no opportunity to confront the Hidayat's religious fanatics about it when they were threatening us with the heavily armed battle station," Markus Bauer said. "You let them get away with threatening you?" Bjorn Muller said. "Yes, it would be unsuitable for the single ship to battle an entire battle station, and those religious fanatics lacked self-preservation, so they would not stand back from a fight. Regardless, Keila is dead, and I have already confirmed her identity. Now I'm just waiting for you to do your part so we can finalize our report." Markus Bauer said, "About that, I don't reckon I can identify Miss Eisenstein with enough accuracy. I need to make a thorough examination to conclude the matter," Bjorn Muller said. "What is there to examine? We have both visual identification and DNA identification," Markus said. "The visual identification is non-conclusive due to the unexplainable wounds of the corpse. Due to the extent of damage to the body, we cannot exclude that they have handed us a non-functional clone of Keila. Finally, I find it unsettling that the DNA profile of Keila did not come with any report on how the sample was gathered." Bjorn Muller said, "The DNA profile of Keila does come with more files. They are, however, above your clearance level." Markus Bauer said, Okay, if you give me access to those extra files, that would facilitate and speed up my work, Bjorn Muller said. I do not have time or patience for this bullshit. As a rear admiral for the Terran Council and the captain of the ship, I command you to verify my report and go back to sleep, Markus Bauer said. As a chief scientist for the Terran Council, my primary allegiance lies with the Terran Council Science Commission. I am expecting your full cooperation in enabling me to make an independent review of this case. Failing to do so, I will report your uncooperativeness to the Science Commission, Bjorn Muller said. Very well, I will see what I can do to assist you, Chief Scientist Bauer. Now dismissed. When Markus Bauer had left, Bjorn Muller punched his female massage robot to release his anger. Bjorn could hear a fizz as it broke, and the massage robot fell lifeless to the floor. That insolent son of a bitch, Markus Bauer. This is Bjorn's ship, and an insignificant scientist like him should not dare to oppose him. More than anger, however, Bjorn actually felt fear. He realized that he had made a crucial mistake, and that his fear could be true, that Keila was still alive and had escaped. Worse yet, he had deleted her files to cover up his past actions. Shortly after escaping from captivity, Keila rose to fame after successfully assassinating Hans Muller, who was the chairman of the Terran Council at the time, and who had also been the chairman for House Muller for almost a century. The fact that a Martian rebel assassinated the leader of Terran Council had inspired the downtrodden masses of the solar system to rebel against the Terran Council. This had increased the popular support for the Martian Humanist Alliance, who were the enemies of the Terran Council. And it was this rebellion that they had been fighting for the last 4 years. To summarize, because of Bjorn's failing to contain his sexual desires, the solar system had been drawn into a 4-year war. He had indirectly caused this war by keeping Keila as a sex slave, which caused heavy fatalities and, even worse, a halt for commerce. The latter had brought Earth to a financial standstill and threatened Terran Council's dominance and authority. Bjorn knew if his peers found out what he had done, his life would be forfeited. He had to deal with the situation as fast as he could, and decided to stick with his idea that Keila was already dead.